Wyoming's a great place to form your corporation. There's a lot of other choices out there, and many believe that they need to form their corporation in Delaware. Delaware has become the center of the universe when it comes to corporations generally. If you're the next hot startup, if you're raising money from outside investors, if you're publicly traded and listed on a stock exchange, absolutely, there's nowhere else to be. Delaware is the place for you. Many, even those with great aspirations, don't need everything that Delaware has to offer, and it can actually do them a pretty significant disservice by forming their company in Delaware. In Delaware, the officers and director names will very likely be listed in a public record, and everyone will know that you're associated with that company. That may be a good thing, that may be a bad thing. Many of our Wyoming clients value their privacy. Wyoming is great from the privacy perspective. For a startup company, it's sometimes very important that it's not even known you're working on this company yet. Another great thing about Wyoming is veil piercing. There's something in Wyoming called a close corporation. Close corporations have very limited record-keeping requirements. Originally, they were called by the legislature kitchen table companies. This is where you've got a couple of friends or family members or spouses, brothers, sisters, mother, father, so on and so forth, that are forming a corporation, and they shouldn't be expected, at least in the eyes of the Wyoming legislature, shouldn't be expected to keep fancy meeting minutes and have a corporate secretary and all sorts of fancy stuff. They can keep the company closely held, and there's really the only ones that matter are going to be those who are the shareholders. So that's a great feature of Wyoming law, and makes it very difficult to pierce the veil and get to the shareholders of the company. Wyoming generally has it's very challenging for individuals who sue the company to get to the owners through enhanced veil piercing protection. Another great thing about Wyoming is that there is no corporate tax. Corporate taxes are assessed at the federal level. Currently, the federal corporation's tax rate is significantly lower than it is for individuals, or it would be for an LLC. If you're in a state or form your company in a state which does impose a corporate tax, if you form your corporation there, the corporation would be subject to that additional layer of taxation. That's not the case if the corporation is formed in Wyoming. Another fantastic thing about Wyoming is the low cost. Very easy to set up, very inexpensive to set up, and then very inexpensive to maintain. Many states will determine how expensive it is for a company to renew, including Delaware, based on how many shares have been issued, as well as based on the total assets of the company. That does not apply in Wyoming. In Wyoming, you're going to be charged a flat fee up to a certain amount. If you have very significant assets located physically within the state of Wyoming, then there could potentially additional fee. But most of our clients don't have any assets inside the state of Wyoming. They just have a Wyoming corporation there. So generally, Wyoming corporations under Wyoming law are great if you value your privacy. They're great, especially if you choose a close corporation, if you want to limit the ability of someone suing the company to get to the owners. They're great because there's no corporate tax in Wyoming, and they're also finally great because of the low cost of forming and maintaining your company there. We really think that forming a corporation in Wyoming, unless you're that next hot startup raising private equity capital and taking in significant funds from outside investors, Wyoming is really your only choice.